Hey YouTube, it's Cherise here, back at it again with another Get Ready With Me. Of course, featuring the Modern Renaissance palette. I have been loving this palette. As you can see, it's already dirty because I have been using it basically every single day since I got it. And I love it. I've also got some coffee over here that I need to finish drinking, so I'll be drinking that throughout the video. So good. Alright, so in this video, I'm going to be using a foundation that the first time I tried to use it, it didn't work out too great for me. And the color was a little bit too deep for me, but now that I went to that pool, bruh, everything is looking so good on my skin. I'm so excited. I went to the pool for an hour and spent 1 hour literally laid out in direct sunlight wearing SPF 100, so I was being safe, and the SPF lasts for 80 minutes, so I was within that time frame of being fully protected, my skin being protected, because even though you're black or Asian, or if you have melanin in your skin, you still need to protect your skin. One of my friends that just recently became an esthetician was posting about how how sunblock and SPF are so important, no matter if you're translucent white like Jeffree Star and Nikki Tutorials and Jaclyn Hill, Graveyard Girl, those types of people who are very, very pale, or if you're as dark as, I'm trying to think of some really dark YouTubers that are like really, really well known. The sad thing is they aren't very, very well known. But I follow a lot of people, or if you're deep like Jackie Ina and me, and hey, it's, what does she always say? What's her name? Mo. Or what's the Chanel Boateng, and all these other, I follow lots of YouTubers. It doesn't matter from the lightest to the darkest, you need to protect your skin from the sun. So I always wear SPF 100. Bandcamp, I'm wearing SPF 100. So it's just very, very important because it can damage your skin. And if you have hyperpigmentation like I do, your dark spots will get darker if you don't use SPF, which I don't want. I don't want my I don't want my dark spots to get darker. I want them to disappear forever. So. All right, enough about the sun and skincare. Just thought you should know. So the foundation I'm going to be using today is going to be speaking of dark people, a very dark, beautiful, gorgeous woman. One of the most beautiful women of the years. She was voted the most beautiful woman of the year. I can't remember what year that was. Lupita Nyong'o is the spokesperson for this company, so I'm going to wear the Lancome Teint Idole today. The first time I used it, I haven't had good luck like getting it to be long lasting, 24-hour wear and all that stuff. So I used it on one of my Fab Four music fraternity sorority sisters, and it looked so good on her, and I was like, I need to try this again. So I'm gonna try it again. My face is only moisturized, but I think I am gonna go in with a little bit of the Becca Evermatte primer. We're going to use a little bit of that. So this is the Becca Evermatte Poreless Priming Perfector, which I will probably never even get through this tube, honestly. This stuff is so intense and good at mattifying. Let me just set everything up here, get a mirror put up. So yeah, I'm going to go in with a little bit of this. And I'm just going to focus it on my most oily areas. And this one is just like the Boots number 7 where you can rub it for a little bit. That's why I'm using very small amounts. I don't know if y'all can see that. There we go. Tiny amounts. You can rub it at first, but once it starts to dry down, you have to start pressing it in. Or else you get these little ball things. So I'm just applying this where I get most oily. Forehead, eyebrows. Nose. I'm going to put a little bit more on my nose. right here, for some reason, where my glasses go, I get really oily. That's just recently started. I'm like, but why? And of course, the very sides of my nose. And my chin also gets oily. It gets oily, but it doesn't look oily. You know what I mean? Like when my nose gets oily, it is oily and it looks oily, but my chin is just like, I can feel it when I like touch it, but it don't look oily, which is, I feel like, even more strange. So we are just going to be pressing Becca in. And whenever I use the Becca primer, I feel like I need to use a moisturizing primer for under my eyes. So I'll only put some of this on my eyelids too, so I can help prevent my eyelids from creasing. My eyelids do get oily as well. The only place that's dry on my face is really right under my eyes. So it's very strange, but that's the only place I have dry skin. And sometimes after breakouts, I'll get dry like on the very outskirts of my face, but most of the time that gets oily too. So I technically have oily skin. All right, so you can already see that my forehead is like matte, like this, my skin is matte. And I used a very little bit of this stuff. Like a little bit goes a long way, so use small amounts and build it up. So for the hydrating primer, I like to use the Makeup Forever Step 1 Hydrating Base. I think that's what it's called. If I can find it. I saw it in here. Where's she at, Bill? There it is. Yeah. Base Hydrant, Step 1 Skin Equalizer from Forever. This is a little sample size, which is perfect for me because I don't need to hydrate anywhere else but under the eyes. But whenever I use the Becca, I feel like it's a necessity for me to put this under my eyes just to prevent any weirdness. Because like the Becca, when I use this primer, sometimes it can like dry out my skin where I'm dry, which is under my eyes, and it looks really scary and like it looks like a desert, literally. That's way, way, way too much. You see how much that is? I don't need that much for right under my eyes. But like it dried my under eyes out one time so bad that it looked like a desert. Same with the Becca Shine Proof Foundation. That one made my under eyes look like a desert when I used this, when I used the Becca primer with it, and I was like, oh gosh, this too much. And since I have some left over, I don't know where I should put this. Like, I'm really oily everywhere else, but I like to use this hydrating primer right under the eyes. Oh gosh, somebody's calling me. I got time. I'm trying to shoot a video. All right, so I'm just gonna put this hydrating primer on my neck. Let's just hydrate my neck. Whatever's left over. All right. Phil, I can't talk to you. I'm making a video. All right. Now we're all primed up. Let me pull out the foundation. I'm just trying to get this to dry under my eyes where I put the hydrating primer. There she is. Just found it just like that. And the foundation I'm using today is the Lancome Teint Idole Ultra 24-Hour Foundation. I have the shade 540 Suede W, and now that it is summer and I have got my little tan on, I think this is going to look so beautiful on my skin. But I definitely think 530 and 520 are probably my perfect shade during the winter. I'm hoping I can like this foundation because I do want to get shades for like the winter and fall, if I can like figure out how to use this thing. All right, so this is what it looks like. We're gonna start with one pump. That was a small pump. Do you see that? Let's do 2 pumps. There we go. So that wasn't a full pump. That was like half a pump. And I'm going to use a brush to apply this. I know that using a brush worked better than something else. And I'm going to use this kind of fluffier brush, this angled brush, to blend this in. It's not super duper dense. And I'm using very light pressure so I can easily like spread it out onto my skin. Yes, this is a perfect color match. Do y'all see this? Like I said, this brush is not dense at all. So it is going to soak up some of the products. So I may end up having to do a couple layers. I'm just going to do 2 more on the forehead region and really kind of spread it out. One thing I really do like about this foundation is that it is super lightweight on your skin. Like it feels like nothing. It almost, did you see how runny it was? It's almost kind of like water a little bit. It's not that runny, but it just feels so light on the skin. Like you don't feel like you're caking on makeup, you know? So that's perfect for the summer. Okay, come through. So far I'm liking this with this primer. This might be the golden combination. Yeah, this color definitely matches me really well. And a brush definitely works better than a beauty blender with this, but it's so lightweight. I don't feel like I have on anything. Like honestly, I feel like I just put on some water-based lotion that won't normally work for ethnic people. You know what I mean? Like, what's a good, like, I have some lotion in my bathroom. I think it's like Suave or something. Like, it doesn't really work. Like, it doesn't last, you know? That's what it feels like, a lightweight lotion. This is, I think, supposed to be a full coverage, which it basically is. But yeah, it looks like nothing. It looks like skin. Like, I just look, I have great skin. So it's definitely, I'm definitely having more success this time around applying this foundation. And I'm kind of patting it just to see what that does. But yeah, I think maybe 4 pumps could do my whole face. I used about 6.5. You guys know I like to overload on foundation, but I think because it's so lightweight, I feel like I need to put more. Even though I don't really need to use more. I don't know, it feels like nothing's on my skin. Wow, that feels really good. Do y'all see that? Like it looks like my skin. And it's such a good color match. I don't even really need to blend it into my hairline. Like it matches my natural skin tone so well. Yeah, definitely liking the way that this is going so far. Much better than the other times I've used it. I think I tried to wear it like maybe 3, 4, 5 times before. Okay, so once it sets too. Because I don't really think I'm moving it anymore. I'm just kind of brushing my face. So that is what that looks like. I almost feel like this is like a very natural finish, if that makes any sense. Like, you can't tell that I have on foundation, like up close. It's very undetectable. This looks like I have really awesome, perfect skin. But it doesn't look like foundation. Does that make any sense? I hope I'm making sense. Anyways, let's go ahead and finish off the face. Keep it moving. So now I'm going to highlight with some powders. I'm going to use the L'Oreal Pro Matte Infallible Powder in 700 Classic Tan to set under my eyes with this angled brush just because it's close to me. So I'm using this like I would a highlighting concealer, but I'm just doing it with powder just to brighten up the center of my face. Really lift the face. This is also setting the foundation, which doesn't really need to be set because it kind of dries to a nice finish, like a nice set finish. You don't really need to set it with the powder. So I'm just putting this in my most oily places and the places I want to kind of highlight. And did you know that L'Oreal and Lancome are owned by they're like the same company? I'm pretty sure that's a fact. So that might be why I like the L'Oreal True Match foundations work really well for me. L'Oreal Pro Matte Infallible foundation works really well for me. Like I have really good luck with L'Oreal foundations. So that's why I was so excited to try Lancome products when I found that out. I was like, oh. And one great thing about this foundation too is that they have a shade for everybody. Like they really do. Yeah, I think 540 Suede W, which stands for warm, is perfect for me. Alright, so you see how that has brightened up parts of my face? So now we're going to go in and do a little bit of contouring. I'm not going to actually set the foundation. I'm just going to do this little highlighting with this lighter powder, and I'm going to contour with a powder I haven't used. I'm trying to pull out some products that I haven't been using. That's kind of what I do in the summers, try to go through my makeup or use up a lot of my makeup during the summer. I'm going to use what am I going to use? The Cover FX Mineral Pressed Powder. Is that what it's called? Yes. The Cover FX Pressed Mineral Foundation Powder in N110. I thought that this would match my skin. Well, actually, it looks like it might now. But it was like too dark when I first got it. I thought I could use it as a powder-only foundation. Because, sorry, I'm like sniffling. Because Cover FX products have really good coverage, and I was just really excited. And I wanted a new powder-only foundation. Okay, my nose is like running. So we're gonna use this, this Real Technique sculpting brush. And this Cover FX powder. And we're gonna use this to contour. Oh yeah, it's still deep on me. So we're going to go in and sculpt the face. I don't know why I feel like doing the whole 9 yards today, but that's what I'm gonna do. And I don't know if I'm liking the way that this brush is applying this. So I'm gonna switch to a little bit more of a fluffy brush, but I used it to apply my blush and contour yesterday, so it has some blush still on it. This is just a fluffy goat-haired brush from Coastal Scents that I've had for a really long time. So it's a little bit more fluffy, so I feel like this is going to work a little bit better. Because I feel like using a brush that was so dense almost smoothed my foundation around, because I feel like I have a line now, a streak, which I don't like. So I'm just working this into the places I want to contour and sculpt and all that good stuff. And I thought it was still deep on me, but it's not showing up as well as when I use this brush, maybe because it's more dense. So I'm just gonna use this to press and not so much sweep it around. See if that changes anything. I'm gonna go ahead and press some down the sides of my nose as well. Yeah. This side has more. It's kind of there, but kind of not. It's very subtle. I can live with that though. So I might need to try this again as a powder foundation. I'm also gonna pat some of this along my forehead. My giant, giant forehead. Sometimes I look at my face and I'm like, my forehead takes up literally about 40% of my face. Which I think is kind of funny. Alright, and since this powder isn't super deep on me, I'm just going to take some on this really soft brush and kind of dust all over my face with it. Not really to set, but more so just to blend everything together. And just make sure there are no lines of demarcation. Yeah, this brush is nice and fluffy, so. I tried to contour it up a little bit. Didn't really work. It's kind of there. A little bit. Alright, moving on to blush. Blush, 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 blush. Do I even want to wear blush today? No. So we're just going to highlight. That was a hard no. I was like, no. Okay, so we're going to go straight to this palette now. To highlight with today, I'm going to use Primavera. That's my favorite, actually. Vermeer, I love the way it looks, but I like Primavera better. This shade is Primavera. It's really sparkly, glistening one. I'm going to use an e.l.f. small stipple brush to apply this as a highlight to my face. I'm using extremely light pressure and circular motions, windshield wiper and circular motions, to apply this to my cheekbones. And again, this shade is called Primavera. Do y'all see that nice glow that it gives? And I'm building it up. And we're gonna do the brow bone. Go ahead and do the brow bone. Whoa, my eyebrow hairs look really long today, like they're trying to grow out or something. I used to cut my eyebrow hairs and I stopped because like I don't really have that much. I had no business cutting anything. All right, so that's that half. Let's go to the other half. Using the same technique of very light pressure. I still like to bring it up just a little bit. And for the brow bone, right above the brow. And because I use that powder to contour with, I may have to take that into my hairline a little bit. Now that I'm looking closer, it did add a little bit of darkness, highlighting my pimple. That needs to go away. I have been having some really random acne as of late. Y'all already know that huge breakout I had down here. That one pimple's still lingering. Like, really, bro? Can you just leave me alone? Let me live my life. And now I'm going to use my finger in the same shade and put some of that down the center of my nose. And on the tip. And I'm going to use this brush to blend that out a little bit. Then I'm going to go into that brush I used to contour and go on the sides of this. There we go. And last but not least, the Cupid's bow. Which I just use my finger for. So now the face is highlighted. I feel like there's a line here. That's probably just my under eye bag though. All right. Taking my scarf off to reveal my edges to the world. Which my dad, every time my parents FaceTime me a lot. And every time we FaceTime, my dad is like, your edges are so laid. I'm like, when are they not laid though? Like, I have been loving my hair lately. Like, my wash and go has just been killing the game. That gel is like amazing. So I'm just gonna tap some of this contour powder, the Cover FX powder, onto my hairline just to make sure that everything blends together nicely and that my face isn't a different color from my hairline. My scalp is lighter. You can tell my face is a little bit deeper than my scalp. That's okay, that's normal. But we just kind of wanted to ombre into it and not just be like, bam, face, bam, scalp. Because that would not be cute. Okay. There we go. That's a little bit better. Okay. Done with that. Done with the face. Now we can move on to the eyeballs. Just gonna brush these brows with this brush though. They're something interesting today. Alright, so for this look, I really want to use Primavera on my eyes and Red Ochre. I think those are probably going to be the only two shadows I use today. Which those are shadows I've used. And maybe a little bit of Venetian Red, because Venetian Red tends to come off a little bit brown-ish. Nope, not today. I don't know. I know I want to use those two colors though. So I'm actually going to start with my eyelid, and I'm just going to use this concealer brush and apply Primavera to my eyelid. Do, do, do. And I'm patting that onto my eyelid. It's just a pretty gold, like champagne gold color. So I'm applying that to my lid, and I'm kind of cutting the crease a little bit as I pat this all over my lid. And I'm applying it dry. This brush is dry. It's so pretty though. But we have that over the entire lid, and I've kind of cut it, as you can see. You need to cut it. So we're gonna do the same thing to the other eye. I need to use this palette here so y'all can see. But I'm literally just patting it. Hopefully y'all can see. Yeah, you can. I'm patting it onto the eyelid and also kind of cutting the crease at the same time. I think Red Ochre is probably my favorite shade in here. I don't know, I just think it's so pretty. I also like Antique Bronze a lot and Real Gar, but I don't know, there's something about Red Ochre. It just makes me love it. So if you guys can see that I'm kind of cutting the crease as I go, as I apply this over my entire lid. Ignore the dirty cover of this palette. I could clean it, but it's just gonna get dirty again because I use it every day. Or I have been using it every day. Alright, so you just want to make sure this is over your entire lid, like so. Next, I'm going to go in with red ochre, and I'm going to use this brush right here from Coastal Scents because it's kind of dense and I can really place the color. So this is red ochre. And I'm just going to go right above this shade into the crease. And I'm really making sure that color is showing. I'm not going to go all the way into the inner corner. I went almost all the way. But really making sure that it's more pigmented on the outskirts of the eye. I'm also going to bring that down and onto my lid just a little bit. Well, we can see I brought it on the lid just a little bit. Just on that very outer corner. And it looks ugly right now, that's okay. It's not blended at all. I'm more so placing the color before I blend. I think I've used almost every shadow in here now. And you can see I'm bringing it almost all the way in. Almost, not quite. And onto the lid just a little bit. So that's what the eyes are looking like now. Great, great. With the same brush, I'm going to take Venetian Red, which is right next to it, and also use that in the crease. But I'm not going to go in as far. I'm stopping like halfway. You can see that helped to deepen that up even more. Like so. And now I'm taking the brush from the palette, the fluffy side, and we're going to use red ochre to blend this out. So I'm starting on the outer corner. And using red ochre to blend all of this out. So red ochre is the first color that we put in the crease, and it's the color that I'm using to blend all of this out. It's also going to be the color that we put on the bottom lash line. The Venetian Red was kind of just to add a little bit more intensity and brightness to the look, right in that crease, but red ochre is kind of the main color. So I'm just using this to blend still, and I'm also going to start pressing some of that right in here. Like so, so that we get kind of a gradient effect. Alright, so with the other side of the brush, I'm taking red ochre, and I'm going to smudge that on the bottom lash line. And as you can see, Primavera is still popping on the lid. On the innermost part of the lid, which is where I want it, just on the innermost part. And I'm really building up this red ochre color because it is so, so, so pretty. Just really going in with the red ochre. And make sure that you're connecting it kind of to your upper lid area, like right on the corners. Making sure that it all connects. So that's what the eyes are looking like so far. Now it's time to work on the inner corner and the inner lower part of the bottom lash line. And I'm just going to take Primavera. So Primavera is going to be what we have on the inner 1/3, the inner tear duct, and the bottom 1/3. So I'm just using this small brush from Coastal Scents to really apply that in those areas. So you're going to bring that down. So basically our eyes are kind of gold and red, and it's really, really pretty. And I think I'm going to wear a deep red lip with this, even though it looks kind of pink, but it's actually red. But I'm going to wear a red lip with it, like a deep red lip. Which isn't the most summery of lip colors, but I don't care. And if you have some moisture in your eye, it will cause it to be super bright right in the tear duct area. That's okay. Just making sure that I get it real good in here. Ooh, I got it out. Like so. And if you want to go ahead and take this small brush and apply a little bit of this wet to your lid, go ahead and go for it. I'm doing a little bit of that. That's just going to really make it pop. And using a small brush like this also helps you to place it exactly where you want it. I'm going ahead and blending that. Like so. Last but not least for this look, we're going to add a little bit of Cypress Umber just to the outer crease area, just to deepen it up a little bit more. And to do that, I'm going to use this brush, but I need to wipe it off. And I'm going to mix Venetian Red and Cypress Umber. Not Venetian Red. I'm going to mix Red Ochre and Cypress Umber. Cypress Umber is this really deep brown color, and Red Ochre is the color that we use to blend out the crease, the red shade. And that's also on our bottom lash line. That's also kind of the featured color. So I'm going to mix them together to really deepen up the crease. And I'm going to do this kind of with my eyes open, looking straight ahead. That's really going to help me see how much color I need to add and how far to take it in. We're just doing just a little bit. So y'all can see that. And by doing it with my eyes open, I can see exactly where the color is going and how it's going to look when my eyes are open. So as you can see, we still have the red ochre peeking out over the top. So we're really just putting that in the outer crease area. And just to get that gradient effect even more, I'm going to take the fluffy brush and add a little bit more red ochre onto the lid area so that it goes Primavera, red ochre, Cypress Umber, red ochre on the lid. I'm just going to put some of that on there. So it literally looks like the Cypress Umber is just really to deepen it up, but it's all about the red ochre. You see that? Then I'm going to take the first brush we used to apply Primavera and just blend into that a little bit, just to make sure that it's nice and gradient. I'm going to use the other brush because I feel like this eye doesn't have as much Primavera on it as my other eye. There we go. Alright, so that's it for the eyeshadow. I'm just looking, oops, I see some areas that need a little bit of work. So I'm going to take this red ochre and kind of do a little bit of blending on the edges of the look. Make sure that's blended. It's like, I think I'm done. Nope, there needs to be some more blending. Around the Cypress Umber, there needs to be a little bit more blending. There we go. Just blending out those edges. So they were a little rough. Alright, so that's it for eyeshadow. I was looking at the time. Doing great on time. So now it's time to line these eyes. And I definitely think this needs like winged liner. Actually, I'm going to take this brush and apply red ochre into my lower waterline, like just so it can pop a little bit more. Just so that it is like there. I'm only going to go halfway. It's already in there a little bit, but we're going to make sure that it is like there. There we go. That looks so strange with that eyebrows. Alright, so now for eyebrows, since all my brow pencils are literally right here in front of me. So I'm done with this palette. I'm just going to blow off the that looks all nice and clean. Gonna do my brows. Just gonna use this brown. And because this is like a dark brown, it's not a black, I'm being quite heavy-handed with it. As you can see. I'm being real heavy-handed with it. Like, gonna go ahead and brush out the beginning, the front ends of the brows with this shade. And brushing through the brows before I add some black to them. So now I'm going to add some black pencil just to deepen them up, define them a little bit more. So those are my brows. I feel like I'm getting washed out. I feel like I've just been getting washed out a lot when I make videos. Like, I don't know why, but I just feel like I am. I'm just taking the brush I used to apply the foundation and I'm just kind of going over my face a little bit. Let me turn this light off. Let's see what happens. Now that's a little dark. I turn it this way a little bit. There we go. I'm not as washed out. Alright, so the brows are done. How long is this video then? Oh, I'm doing good. Shorter than yesterday. So now I'm going to add some eyeliner. I'm using the Kat Von D Tattoo Ink liner. And I'm making a super thin line really close to the lash line. And I'm trying not to cry because I always cry when I do eyeliner. And you know I said I wanted a wing, but now I'm kind of like, I don't think so. Yeah, I'm kind of just liking the little thin black line. Oh gosh. When you go out of bounds. Oh. When you mess up your eyeliner. Okay, so we're gonna do a little bit bigger of a line today because I messed up on this side and it's not as skinny as I wanted it to be originally. That's okay. We will figure it out. All right, time for mascara. I'm gonna use the Covergirl, the SuperSizer. Mascara, do 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 do. Hopefully you all can see these lashes. Did I finish my coffee? Oh no, a little bit left. Yes. And of course, mascara to the bottom lashes. I love the summer because I actually have time to like spend on my makeup, to take my time and really do some fun looks. Speaking of fun looks, I might do some more looks with the Sweet Peach palette. Go back to that palette because that was one that I was excited about. Not nearly as excited as I am about Anastasia Beverly Hills because y'all know that's my favorite palette brand, Anastasia Beverly Hills. So I think I'm going to stay on this whole no more palettes though, unless it's an Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. So I'm starting to really narrow down what makeup I do like, what brands I don't necessarily like, and things like that. So I really only like her eyeshadow palettes. Like I'm not into high-end highlighters or anything like that. I just like foundations really and Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes, eyeshadow palettes. I'm not really big into contouring or anything like that. I'm not really into concealers like that. I tried. And it did make a difference, but just not my preference. I actually don't think there are too many more foundations I actually want to try. I do want to try the Estee Lauder Double Wear. I think that's like the only one. I literally own so many foundations. Like, I'm looking in my foundation drawer right now. I'm like, yeah, I have so much. I don't really need anymore. All right. So look is almost complete. I'm loving the way the eyes came out today. Oh. So we're going to do a red lip to tie in with the red ochre. And the lip I'm going to wear is going to be from NYX. So we're going to keep it drugstore. And it's one of their liquid suedes, which I love. A lot of people don't like them. I love the liquid suedes. I plan to order some more actually. They came out with 12 new colors, I believe. And I already know what it's called. It's called Cherry Skies, but I have to find it in my giant basket. I'm already going to just scoot my other basket over and dump these out. Oh, got it? No, there it is. Found it! So this is the NYX Cream Liquid Lipstick in Cherry Skies. I don't even know if I've even worn this. It feels like I haven't opened it. I know I got my sister this color though, and I know it looks really good on her, so. Yes. Oh, yes. Loving this look. And you know what? I'm even going to put a little bit of red ochre on my lipstick. Yesterday I did that. I put some of the veneer on my lips, and bro, it literally matched my eyeshadow perfectly. So I think I'm going to dust a little bit of red ochre onto the center of my lips just to really tie in the lips with the eyes. And I might even do an all black look for work today. Like wear my new high-waisted jeans. Like just be super cute for no reason. I do that a lot. I get all dressed up and fancy for no reason. Really, it's for myself and because I love taking selfies and pictures, so. Yes. This look is definitely looking kind of fall. But I don't care. Have I mentioned how much I love the liquid suede? Like, they feel so good to me. I feel like I need a little bit more highlight to my Cupid's bow, so we're gonna take care of all that right now. So I'm gonna take a little bit of Primavera on my finger. And just highlight my Cupid's bow a little bit more. And then I'm going to take a flat brush. It's kind of large. I'm going to take some red ochre eyeshadow. And we're gonna put that over the lips. And really, this is just really mattifying my lips. So I'm gonna just apply this all over. So this completes the look. Yeah, putting that red ochre eyeshadow just made it like very matte. I'm loving this look though. So again, thank you guys for your support. Thank you for watching. Let me know what else you want to see. What else you want to see. What else you want to see. Or if there's any other palettes. Actually, I'm going to make a video about all my palettes. I might do that today. I have some time. So when I make that video, just tell me what palettes you want to see me make looks with, or if you want to know my full opinion. I'm going to give short little descriptions of each one. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate your support, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, Idole.